On a cold winter day, young Sami decided to embark on an adventure that might be the most important of his life. Sami was a young man passionate about exploration, with a deep desire to uncover the secrets of the mountains on the outskirts of his village. Since childhood, Sami had heard tales of the Lost Mountain, a mysterious mountain said to hide a lost treasure. However, no one from the village had ever managed to reach it, as the path was fraught with dangers, and heavy rains flooded the mountains most of the year. But these challenges did not deter Sami. He strongly believed that the mountain held something significant worth discovering. On a bright morning, Sami set off from his village, carrying his backpack filled with food and water, preparing himself for the long journey ahead. He passed through dense forests, climbed steep hills, and crossed rushing rivers. As the days passed, he began to doubt his ability to complete the journey. But his determination remained unshaken. During his walk along a narrow path, he encountered an elderly traveler named Yusuf. Yusuf had come from afar to search for the same mountain and had failed to reach it before due to thick fog and violent storms that swept across the mountain. Yusuf offered to accompany Sami on the journey, and the young man agreed without hesitation. For the following days, they shared food and drink, exchanging stories about their lives. Sami discovered that Yusuf was a very wise man, despite his old age. One day, while crossing a narrow stream, Sami found an old map wrapped between rocks. It appeared to be a guide to the Lost Mountain. It turned out that the map was part of an ancient expedition by explorers who had tried to reach the treasure but had never returned. Despite the map showing a complicated route, Sami felt an overwhelming excitement. "We are close to our goal," Sami said with enthusiasm. But Yusuf calmly looked at the map and said, "Sami, it's not the treasure we should be seeking. The journey itself is what we should value." Sami, surprised, replied, "But the map points to the treasure. Isn't that the goal?" Yusuf smiled and said, "The treasure we seek is not always what we imagine. Sometimes what we learn along the way is more valuable than what we discover in the end." They continued their journey until they reached the top of the mountain, and the view was breathtaking. However, contrary to what Sami had expected, they did not find a treasure of gold or jewels. Instead, what they found was simply a magnificent view, offering them a far-reaching horizon they had never seen before. That moment was filled with inner peace and reflection. Sami sat on the rocks, thinking about Yusuf's words. In that instant, he realized that the adventure itself was the real treasure. What he had learned from the experience, from the challenges he had faced, and from the moments shared with Yusuf, was the most valuable thing he could possess. On their way back to the village, Sami felt a deep change within himself. He no longer cared for material treasures, but instead, he began to appreciate every moment in life and every experience he had gone through. Moral: in life, the destination is not always what matters. The journey itself is what makes us rich with experiences and lessons.